Greetings. My name is Awecho Evelyn Atim from Kampala, Uganda, alongside my colleague Daniel Adediran from Nigeria. Should the use of ancestral genomic data in criminal investigations be banned? Daniel and I are defending the use of ancestral genomic data through storytelling and practical solutions, and our position is no. Next slide, Daniel. Introduction. Genetic ancestry testing refers to the analysis of genetic data to estimate geographical origins of a person's ancestors, and this data reveals ancestry, identity, health risks, and family relations, dual role in the society. So while this data is a transformative tool for personal heritage exploration and criminal justice, there has been raising legitimate privacy concerns that must be addressed. And there is a need for a balanced policy, which can be, and that is complete prohibition risks justice outcomes, and unregulated use of this genomic data threatens privacy. However, there's a framework of responsible regulation that offers the optimal path forward. Next slide. Our opening statement is the debate question in itself. Should the use of ancestry genomic data in criminal investigations be banned to protect privacy? Our position is no. Genomic data should not be regulated. Should be regulated, not banned, to enhance justice and protect privacy. So a properly regulated genomic data is a powerful tool for justice, and privacy concerns can also be addressed through robust safeguards, and this will benefit society. And its benefits to the society outweigh potential privacy risks. So banning ancestry genomic data in criminal investigations will harm justice and ignore practical privacy solutions. Instead, we should advocate for a regulated use, not prohibition, for safety of our communities. And justice requires privacy protection and tools to solve crime. Next slide. The constructive arguments. Unique values of genomic data include unprecedented identification power, which can identify suspects with no prior record where traditional methods fail completely. Then a cold case resolution. It solves decades of old cases where evidence may have been degraded and witnesses are unavailable. Then genomic data also connects seemingly unrelated crimes. It links serial offenders across jurisdictions through familial matches. Then the limitations of the traditional methods, like the fingerprints, include fingerprints require existing database match, whereby in case of a degradation or destruction of a fingerprint at the scene of crime, you're bound to lose out on a case. And then CCTV cameras, the limitation in it is that there's limited coverage, image quality issues, facial recognition sometimes fails, witness testimonies, memory distortion unavailable in cold cases, and then there is also high error rates. Digital evidence absent in pre-digital crimes, and sophisticated criminals may use countermeasures. There are a number of cold cases or common popular cases that include the Gold State Killer case and the Bear Brook case, then the Indian gang rape. My colleague is going to take up from here. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. So I'll be walking through some of the cases, like the Golden State Killer that happened in 1970. So a series of murders, rape, and burglaries around 1974 to 1986 across California, but traditional method fails to identify the suspects. So in 2018, the investigator uploaded a crime scene DNA to GED match, a public genomic database. So with this, it was narrowed down. The DNA match was narrowed down to Joseph James DNA law that was identified around 1980. So this shows that genetic genealogy can solve multi-decade court cases for over 40 years, narrow massive suspect pools, provide decisive evidence that traditional method will not be able to provide, and help in closure for victims so that justice can be brought into existence. So the Golden State Killer case demonstrated how ancestry genomic data can solve cases that traditional method fails to solve. The same thing with Bear Brooks, Allen Storms 4 that happened in 1985. So a series of female bodies was discovered around 1985 and 2000, but traditional method also failed to identify victims involved in this case. So using DNA testing and genetic genealogy approach, this was traced down to alias Bob around 2019. So genetic genealogy also showed that it can solve multi-decade court cases for over 40 years and also narrow massive suspect cases down. So in this case, the Bear Book case demonstrates how genetic genealogy can identify victims, connect seemingly unrelated crimes, and bring closure to family who have waited decades for answer. Any year we are saying justice is equals to privacy. So while we understand that privacy policy are very important, so we decided to show some of the existing global legal frameworks that are designed to protect genetic data. So we have the GDPR from European Union, Uganda DPA, and also GINA from United States. All of these privacy policy are in existence to protect uh, to protect genomic data and also giving access to genomic data through some framework around judicial oversight, purpose limitations, and proportionality assessments. Also, we are saying here that why we know that some of these privacy policy are not well implemented and they are not well implemented. So we are just putting some of the self-guiding practices that need to be addressed, like access restriction. There should be restriction to genomic data, and access should be given when it is serious case like homicide, sexual assault, violent crimes, and there should be need for multi-level oversight. There should be need for multi-stakeholder panels like privacy advocates, legal expertise, and community representatives that will see to over the access of genomic data. And also there should be a secure storage system that would allow this genomic data to be end-to-end encrypted. There should be an accountability should be put in place, several penalty for misuse and regular audits, or transparent reporting and public engagement on policy and practice related to genomic data. While some of these self-guiding practices may also be in place, we are recommending some of these implementation mechanisms like independent judicial review. There should be a court warrant required for all DNA database search, and there should be ethics committee approval by these different multidisciplinary, and there should also be a transparent public reporting and also a regular policy review of some of these safeguarding practices. So I'll hand over to my colleague to continue from here.
Okay, thank you so much, Daniel. Please continue. So our counterparts are arguing that there are alternative methods that exist for use instead of the genomic data, and they mentioned the fingerprints, CCTVs, and witnesses. So we're saying whereas these methods are okay to be used, but these methods often fail in cold cases. For example, the Gold State Killer case that my colleague just talked about, you cannot be able to get fingerprints in this kind of case, or CCTVs, or even the witnesses. Sometimes this is a case of 40 years plus. So most likely you're bound to miss. And then genomic data complements rather than replacing other methods. Privacy concerns outweigh potential benefits. Yes, there is concern regarding privacy, but there also exists comprehensive legal frameworks that protect privacy. For example, the GDPR of the European Union clearly states that genomic data is a special category that requires explicit consent and protection. Then the GINA of the United States prohibits genetic discrimination and restricts data use. The Uganda Data Protection Privacy Act of 2019 clearly safeguards for personal genetic data. Then there is also they also mentioned consent issues in cases of the Golden State Killer. While there may be consent issues, yes, but enhanced protocols ensure proper oversight and transparency, and this is done through advocating for judicial warrants before database searches, ethical board reviews for each case with published guidelines, and public transparency about methods used in investigations. Then a risk of expansion beyond intended extreme cases. Yes, legal boundaries prevent and limit unwarranted expansion by statutory limits on applicable crimes, regular audits by independent oversight bodies, and then clear legal thresholds for use. Next slide. Our closing statement is beyond binary choices, a complete ban on ancestry genomic data in criminal investigation fails to serve justice and ignores practical privacy solutions. So the optimal path lies in robust regulation, not prohibition, then balancing dual imperatives through careful regulation, ethical oversight, and legal frameworks like the GDPR, GINA, and the Uganda DPA. We can safeguard privacy while preserving this vital tool for justice. Global harmonization. We advocate for internationally consistent standards for genomic data use in investigations, ensuring responsible use through transparency, court supervision, and ongoing ethical reviews. Justice and privacy are not mutually exclusive. With proper safeguards, oversight, and continuous evaluation, we can uphold both the right to privacy and pursuit of justice. Thank you so very much. That marks the end of our presentation.